Lions cruise past the Cleveland Browns in what was somewhat of a, I don't want to call it an uneventful game, but, we talk about this sometimes. When your football team is as good as the Lions are, sometimes you go through a Sunday and you're like, it's not that it wasn't fun, it's that you kind of just kicked butt the entire time, and, you didn't get the heart racing, you didn't get the pump going, the blood wasn't flowing. And that was kind of what happened here with this Lions game. They go up and down the field, the Browns score on that opening drive, and that was the last time they found themselves in the end zone. Meanwhile, the Lions start putting up points, and they don't really stop putting up points the entire time as well. I thought by the end of the game, this Browns offense was somewhat demoralized under Joe Flacco and Quinshon Judkins. I mean, they throw in the backups, the Lions throw in the backups. It felt like they had checked themselves out of the game, and that is the sign of a really good defense. The Lions, more than anybody else in the NFL, prioritize stopping the run, and that's kind of all Cleveland has going for themselves right now. They shut down Judkins, they shut down Jerome Ford, and when they put themselves in all those third and long situations and the Lions were bringing the pressure and Hutchinson was having the best game that he's had so far this season, it tends to demoralize another team, and it's fun being on the other side of that. At least there's some bad teams across the league that don't give up, that are at least competing. The Browns, by the end of that one, threw in the towel, probably near the beginning of the fourth quarter, and the Lions had the best time ever running that scoreboard up on them. It wasn't one of those 50 burgers that we've gotten used to, but hey, that's a really good Browns defense, and for the Lions to still find a way to put up 34 points, I thought was impressive. Now, obviously, 7 of those came from a Khalif Raymond punt return, his third of his career with the Detroit Lions, tying fourth all-time in franchise history. But for the most part, I thought the Lions' offense was fine. It was tough sled and run the football, specifically for David Montgomery. Jamison Williams had a couple drops in the middle of the game, but the Lions were still able to put up 4 touchdowns on the day, 2 of which came from Amon-Ra St. Brown, who I am just declaring unstoppable.
I think that's fair. I mean, he
can't be stopped.
He's been quite unstoppable. Ever since week 1, he's been all over the place. Had the 3-touchdown game. He's scored in every game since that one. I think the best part about this game was you still feel like maybe there was a lot of things the Lions could have improved, and they won 34-10 against a really good defense.
And that's what Campbell said after the game in the post-gamer. We didn't play very good. It wasn't good enough. Still found a way to
usually
kick
don't
butt.
See that in the post-game speech video, ever. He really never is like, hey, look, I know we won everything, but we really got to fix this stuff. I was getting ticked off by this, which I like that. I think that's good. But
shows you the standard for the Lions. It's just higher than your average football team in the NFL.
And it just makes you feel good. Okay, they won 34-10, and the head coach is still like, come on, guys. We got to be better than that. Cleveland comes down, scores right away, and you think, man, is this really about to be one of those games? Are we really about to let Cleveland hang around this game? That's how kind of I felt. And obviously that's not how it went at all. Defense was phenomenal after that.
The opening drive, I don't want to just go negative right off the rip, but the opening drive touchdown, that has to be fixed. That's 4 straight games that Calvin Shepard's defense has allowed an opening drive touchdown, and it felt like that drive and only that drive, Joe Flacco had all the time in the world to throw the football. After that, it was totally fine. Yeah. Hutchinson was making an impact, the blitz was landing, but I don't know what's going on with these opening drives. I want to dive back into some of the Amon-Ra numbers, though, because my God, this guy, I think unstoppable might even be an understatement. I saw one stat, Kyle, that was Amon-Ra St. Brown is the NFL's first wide receiver to produce 25 receptions, 300 yards, and 6 touchdowns through the first 4 games since Randy Moss in 2007. That is the kind of company Amon-Ra St. Brown is putting himself in. We said at the end of the show on Friday, hey, if there's 2 guys that are putting together Hall of Fame careers, it's obviously Penei Sewell, and the other one would be St. Brown. Look, if we were doing a fantasy reset, if we were doing a reset of the NFL and every GM got their first choice of receiver, I don't know if Amon-Ra St. Brown goes 1, but he's for sure going in the top 3 at this point. And when this season ends and you look at the last 3 years, 2025, 2024, 2023, I think there's going to be a pretty good argument that when it's all said and done, Amon-Ra was actually the best receiver in football during that stretch. Because if you go back to the beginning of the 2023 season, 28 touchdowns, that would be first amongst receivers. 261 receptions, that would be first amongst receivers. and 3,085 yards. That would be third amongst all receivers. That is Hall of Fame stuff from a guy who's just 25 years old and entering his prime, or in the middle of it, I guess. How can you not say he's in the middle of it? He's getting better and better on the week. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say, because it feels like we've had this conversation at least once or twice already this season, and every time we've had this conversation, he just has not a better game, but he just continues to have an elite game. Like, the red zone stuff to me is really, that's really the part that stands out the most with St. Brown. I don't know if there's a much better red zone weapons period in the NFL than Amon-Ra St. Brown, which is odd because when you think red zone touchdown scores go-to guys, you don't picture a style of receiver like Amon-Ra St. Brown.
No, you think of running backs and you think of Mike Evans type of receivers.
You think of a Tyler Warren, the way that he's used with the Indianapolis Colts, like just the different ways you can use him, the big burly tight ends or the big running backs, the Derrick Henrys, like the Jalen Hurtses, Josh Allens. Like, St. Brown is so consistent when they are inside, when it's a goal-to-go scenario, you can just chalk it up for him to score. Like, he always finds a way to get open. They run the plays for him, and even on the ones that break down, him and Goff just have such a good connection that he's going to be able to find him. So that's
still,
the part
even
to me
odds
that's
to
the
score.
best.
Even odds to score going into yesterday's game.
I know. I got
it's
cute
like, this
yesterday.
is free money.
I got cute yesterday. I'm like, I'm thinking like Laporta touchdown today.
I did the same.
I'm thinking maybe a J-Mo touchdown today. No, it's just obviously St. Brown, man.
It's getting more obvious than Gibbs and Montgomery at this point. He's always in.
Gibbs' touchdown
scored,
is still super obvious, but Montgomery, yes.
He has scored 6 times in 4 games. Like, this is unheard of. And if it wasn't for Megatron being, one of the 5 best receivers of all time, in my opinion, the best if he never retired, like, just straight up, who would you rather have at the peak of their powers? I think Megatron has a real argument to be the first guy. But if that guy didn't play in a Lions uniform at 25 years old, Amon-Ra would already be considered like, oh, this is the best receiver ever. This is the best receiver. And no disrespect to Herman Moore, but what Amon-Ra has done here over the last 2.5 years is pretty diabolical. We talk about guys jumping into the best Lions of all time. How about Aiden Hutchinson, first player in franchise history to accumulate these numbers over any 3-game span? 5 quarterback hits, 4 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. He is the quickest edge rusher in Lions history to ever get 32 sacks. That's how many career sacks he has at this point. He had his best game of the 2025 season yesterday against the Browns. He feasted on the backup offensive tackles. 9 pressures. That's not a PFF thing, so me personally, I don't consider it official yet, but 9 pressures, 2 quarterback sacks. He was all over the place, even forcing another fumble that ended up getting called back. All over the place. Looked like one of the best edge rushers in all of football again. And let's just face it, had a bigger impact than Myles Garrett did in yesterday's game, who had his fair share of pressures, but didn't sack Jared Goff once. And that's the 3rd straight time that Goff has not been sacked. When Goff does not get sacked, they win football games. Plain and simple.
Yes. And I think that we do need to give credit. I mean, not we do need to, because we are giving credit to the offensive line for that. I think Goff deserves a lot of credit for it as well. I thought that he has evaded pressure like way better than maybe I expected him to based off of how week 1 went. Like, obviously the offensive line has been a better unit in general since that week 1 game, but Goff, the way that he stepped up and kind of avoided when he does get under pressure, I thought has been much improved than maybe what I expected it to be.
And he just knows when to get rid of the ball. Like, did you watch the Berlin game?
The Dublin game.
The Dublin game, yeah, that's right.
0 for 2. Yep. Yeah, I watched it.
Carson Wentz has a good offensive line. He would rather take a sack than just throw the ball away. He holds on to the football for way too long. Jared Goff doesn't do that. He knows when to get rid of the ball. He knows when to throw it to a receiver's feet, even if it's with the intention of, I know this isn't going to be complete.
Even on the flip side, you look at Joe Flacco. He even tried to get rid of the ball, and he can't even do it. He throws it right to Kirby Joseph.
What was that?
No, I don't think that was a throwing away. I think that was a straight miscommunication between him and Cedric Tillman.
Either way, just an awful decision.
So funny that Cedric Tillman just stands there and watches it happen. Like, doesn't even try to do any. That was the funniest clip of the day, I think.
That's Cleveland Browns in general for you. Cleveland Browns offense specifically. That's the 19th interception of Kirby Joseph's career. Lions are 19-0 when he picks one off. Actually, I take that back. They're undefeated when he picks one off, because I know he's had some where he's had multiple in the same game.
They're undefeated every game he's had a pick?
Every game Kirby Joseph has an interception, they're undefeated.
That's a good stat.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy's a magnet. I mean, like, it's just, of course, he's the guy that's over there. You know, when Flacco can't get it out of bounds.
It's everywhere.
Same thing with Caleb Williams in week 2. When he tried to get rid of it out of bounds, of course Kirby Joseph is the guy that's right there.
That's got to be the easiest one of his career to date and probably the rest of his life, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's just a punt. This is right up in the air. Easiest pick of his career.
So good. And the defense just making plays. I mean, Hutchinson having another forced fumble was awesome. Man, our guy Trevor Nowatzki almost had himself a touchdown. But nonetheless, yeah, just an awesome performance from the defense.
I feel like if we're going to talk about the defense, we have to bring up Jack Campbell. That guy is a lunatic. He is all over the place on the defensive side, just spearing his head into every single run gap. 11 tackles led the team. I thought the Ravens game was the best game of his career. And then he played on Sunday against the Browns, and I think that's probably the best game of his career. It's not just the tackles, because, I think it's kind of easy to rack those up at some point. We've seen a lot of, mediocre, average running backs or average linebackers lead the NFL in tackles. The thing that makes Jack Campbell so good is they're all at the line of scrimmage. This guy's not getting beat to his – he's beating running backs to the line of scrimmage and stuffing the run on a consistent basis. And was making some plays in the pass game yesterday as well, which has always been the not knock on him, but it's been the area we've asked to see the most improvement. We've seen improvement from him this season.
Yeah, I think my favorite play of the game yesterday was either 3rd and 9, 2nd and 9. It was basically a long down play, and they run that tight end screen for Njoku, and Campbell legit just evades the offensive lineman that's there for the screen, basically just bends his body around him and ankle tackles Njoku. Just such an elite play that it was a 15-yard gain nonetheless, and they got 2 yards out of it. Just awesome play from Jack Campbell.
Evading blocks, not the easiest thing to do, unless it's Jahmyr Gibbs trying to chip block Myles Garrett. Do you know what play I'm talking about?
The very opening, the first drive?
Yes. It's what are we doing?
Yeah, it wasn't
It's
a great.
not going to work.
That's why, the first, the Lions, that first offense possession followed by the Browns basically marching it down the field and Judkins scoring and looking good. You were feeling, I was feeling a little weird. Okay, is this really about to happen right now?
No, I felt even better about it. I was like, do I just double down on the spread? It's not the way you wanted to start the game, but at no point
lose, but
at no point did I not think it was going to be a double-digit victory.
Yeah. Like I said, I told the people last week, I said my favorite play of the week was Lions alt spread minus 16.5. That hit comfortably.
I was one Laporta yard away from a big old parlay. Not that anybody out there cares about the parlay, but I know somebody out there feels the pain of the 1 yard short, because that doesn't happen very often, and when it does, that is a dagger and a half.
Yeah, that's terrible.
989-837-61